My name is Rachel Davis Mader, and I am doing a video today on numerology. This is actually the second upload I've done of this video. The first one actually got deleted, and by accident, and so I have to make a whole new video because unfortunately I did not save the one that was already on my phone. And so this is also going to be an unedited version of the video. I do not have my editing software up, so it's going to be unedited. So I'm going to first state that there are many sources that you can use when figuring out numerology, when looking at numerology as a study, as a practice. The number one source that I go to, which everybody's going to have their favorites, but the one that I generally use is this book. It's called The Complete Idiot's Guide to Numerology. The thing that I like about this book is it's really easy to use. They walk you through pretty much everything they talk about, show you how to come up with the numbers. They give you examples. And so it's a really easy book to use. And so I generally go to this book when I'm doing numerology work. And so the first thing I want to say is there are many other sources available online and book-wise dealing with numerology. And not all sources call the numbers the same things, which we will get to in a moment. And so first I want to talk about kind of what is numerology. So numerology is the study of numbers as it pertains to a specific person in their life. Numbers can be found everywhere, from the house that they're living in to their name, their date of birth. It can be taken into consideration when dealing with relationships and how well two people are compatible. What type of work, so to speak, that a person will be doing in a given year, a given month, etc. So it's a very expansive study. There's not one video or one book, I think, personally, my opinion, that could cover the entire study of numerology to a T. Like, that's all of it. That's everything. No, I don't believe that there's one specific thing. So this video is more of a general update or upload information, rather, video about numerology, just kind of the basics. And so what is numerology? What do you consider when you're talking about numerology? So as I stated, numerology kind of, it delves into several different areas. But the thing that is most common is you find that they have certain things that are called your 5 core numbers. And these 5 core numbers, they are called different things depending on the source that you get them from. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use what they call them in this particular book, which is the destiny number, which is all of the numbers in your birth name, your life path number, which is all the numbers in your date of birth, your personality number is all the consonants in your name added together and reduced down to a single number, and your soul number is all of the vowels in your name added together and reduced down to a single number. And then there's your maturity number, which is your life path number and your destiny number added together. Now, I would like to take a minute to state that with your personality number, your destiny number, and your soul number, there's what you were given at birth, the name you were given at birth. There's that. And then there's also another consideration to be taken here. If you've changed your name, either you're just like your last name if you were married, or if you were put in a situation where you had to change your full name, your chart will change in respect to those 3 numbers and your maturity number, because remember, your maturity number is your life path number and your destiny number, so it will most likely change as well. And so that's something to take into consideration when looking at numerology, is anything to do with your name can change if your name does change. There's other numbers to consider. More specifically, you have your pinnacles and challenges. Your pinnacles are, you have 4 pinnacles and 4 challenges. Each take place between a certain time in one's life. And how you find what time it is, that it changes your ages at the changes of each of your pinnacles and challenges, is your first one, you take the number 36 and you subtract your life path number. Second one, you add 9 to the number you got for the first one. And then the third one, again, just add 9. And the fourth one is whatever age you got for pinnacle and challenge number 3 onward to the end of your life. And the way you figure out what your pinnacles and challenges are is you take your month and your day, the day that you were born, and for the pinnacle you add them, for the challenge you subtract them, and that gives you your first pinnacle and challenge. Your second one is the day plus the year, or the day minus the year. The third one is your first pinnacle plus or minus your second, or first pinnacle / challenge plus or minus your second pinnacle / challenge. And then your third one is the month and the year. You add or subtract it depending on which one you were looking for. The other thing is your major cycles. Now, there's 3 major cycles. Each major cycle deals with a different part of your life. The first major cycle deals with about the first 28 years of your life. The second major cycle deals with the middle of your life. Approximately from the age of 28 to around the age of 50, depending on what your life path number is. With the major cycles, they actually give you a chart, which you can find online, most likely, that will tell you, okay, well, if your life path number is, for example, 5, your first cycle is from 0 to 31, your second cycle from 32 to 58, and your third cycle from 59 onward. So that depends on your life path number. So what are your major cycles? So your first major cycle, it's what's called your formative cycle. And it deals with, as I said, about the first 28 to 30 years of your life. And it is the number of the month that you were born. The second is the number of the day that you were born. And the third is the reduced number of the year that you were born. Each major cycle, depending on what number you get, for example, if your number is 2, if your number is 9, 5, each of those in the various spots, first, second, or third major cycle, have different attributes. That's something to be researched in more depth by the person who is looking at it and looking at the specific chart. And same with the pentacles and challenges. Each number, for example, if you have if at one age you have a pentacle that is a 3, you can have a challenge that's a 3 in the same age or a different age. All that the pinnacles and challenges really are is they represent the goals lessons that you're supposed to learn during a specific point in your life. And the challenges represent the weak spots in attaining those goals. So what do you have to work on more? What is the Achilles heel of the situation, so to speak? So that's, in a nutshell, what the Pentacles, challenges, and major cycles are. So let's talk a little bit more about the core numbers that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so what exactly are the core numbers? So when you look at the meaning of the core numbers, you find that you have certain groups of numbers attribute themselves to different parts of your life. For example, your life path number. Your life path number represents the special path that you will walk in this lifetime. It shows natural gifts and talents that you may have that will allow you to fulfill what you were destined to do in this lifetime. Your destiny number, which your life path number is your date of birth reduced and added together. Your destiny number is your entire name reduced and added to all the letters of your name reduced and added together. And it represents the purpose and direction of your life. It could also be seen as representing the calling and mission of your life. Your soul number is all of the vowels in your first, middle, and last names added together and reduced to a single number. And so your soul number is what's considered your heart's desire, your inner motivation. What do you long for? That's what the soul number deals with. What do you long for? Your personality number is all the consonants in your name added together and reduced to a single number. Your personality number shows how others see you. What do you portray to others? What parts of you do they see? Your maturity number, as I said, is your life path number plus your destiny number. And your maturity number shows the direction for the second half of your life. It represents who you truly are. And it helps you kind of bridge the gap between who you are and who you let others see you are, if that makes any sense. It bridges your inner self and your outer self, I guess would be a better way to put that. There's also so those are the 5 core numbers. There's other numbers that are important. For example, life lessons number. Okay, what number does not appear in your name? Each letter has numbers attached to it from 1 to 9. And you generally find it in a chart similar to this. And you can see each letter is attached to a number. And so what you find is with some people, they do not have, most people actually, do not have a letter that's attached to every single one of the numbers 1 through 9. Some people are missing 7s. Some people are missing 2s. What are you missing and why is that important? That's what the life lessons numbers tell you. These are the numbers which are not present in your name. They tell you about the lessons you're meant to learn to advance your personal and spiritual growths. So what is it that you need to know? What are you not in possession of or what knowledge are you not in possession of that you need to be in order to further yourself? Then there's another number called your personal year number. Your personal year number, and they have a personal month and a personal day number as well. I'm not going to get into that for the purpose of this video. But the personal year number tells you where to focus your energy for the current year. It's your month of birth plus your day of birth plus the current year. For example, I was born August 5th. So I would take 8 plus 5 plus 2017 reduces to a single number of 1. 8 plus 5 plus 1. So I get 14, which reduces to 5. Now I will make a disclaimer here. This particular book that I use, when it talks about the personal years, it says to reduce all personal year numbers to a single number. The problem I have with this is in numerology, there are things called master numbers and karmic numbers that affect the numerology profile in the destiny number, the life path number, the maturity number, pretty much every number. I do not agree with leaving out the master or karmic numbers in respect to the personal year number. Here's the reason why. I have a friend of mine who is on the same personal year number cycle that I'm at, which means that when I'm at personal year 4, she's at personal year 4 as well. So last year, I was in a personal 4 number. I was in a personal 4 year. However, when you took the numbers and reduced it down, I was in a personal 22-4. 22 is a master number. It is the master builder, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head. I could be wrong. Disclaimer. My friend was in a personal 4 year as well. However, hers, when you reduce the numbers down, it was 13-4, which 13 is a karmic number. And so what I noticed throughout the year is that a lot of things would come together for me that were a lot more difficult for her. Because she had the energy of the number 13, which is a karmic number, versus the energy of the 22, which is a master number. So, personally, even though certain sources tell me do not adhere to the master karmic /karmic attributes of the numbers in the personal year, I make a note of it anyway. That's my disclaimer about the personal years. Now, the personal months and personal days are the same thing, except on a monthly or daily basis. That's a good thing. If you're interested in it, go research it. There's many sources that can help better understand what those numbers are. So I've talked a little bit about master and karmic numbers, but what are the master and karmic numbers? So you have your numbers 1 through 9, which are the regular numbers. They're the numbers that everything reduces down to. 2 plus 9 equals 11, which equals 2. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 5 plus 7 is 12, which equals 3. Everything will reduce down to a single number. However, there are certain numbers that are made a note of. Namely, as far as master numbers, it's any double-digit numbers that the 2 digits are the same. 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66. all can be considered master numbers. For the purpose of numerology, most of the time what you see is the 11, the 22, and the 33. Those are the numbers most commonly seen in numerology as far as master numbers. So most numerology sources that you have will look at only those as master numbers. Master number 11 is considered the spiritual messenger. It deals more like with awakening. Master number 22 is the master builder. It deals more with organizing and building once you have awoken. It's the second in the line of master numbers. The third master number is considered to be the master, more like teacher, the master teacher. This particular book calls it the master of healing energies through love. But most that I have encountered consider it to be the master teacher. You are going out and you've, the theory behind it is that you've awoken to it, you've built it, now you're teaching about it. If that makes sense. Then you have your karmic numbers. And the karmic numbers listed in this book are 10, 13, 14, 16, and 19. Now, with the number 10, the karmic number 10 is not a karmic number in the other sense of the word that the others are. The karmic number 10 is more about rebirth. It's about shutting away all karma, in essence, good and bad, the way that I understand it. The karmic number 13 is about learning how to be disciplined in doing, like, working hard to come to an end that you're trying to reach, I guess is the best way that I can put that. 14.5 deals with abuse of freedom. If you believe in multiple lifetimes, it deals with, most of the time, abuses of freedom in a past lifetime that you are now reaping the lessons in this lifetime. 16-7 considered the abuse of love. It's learning how to and I'm not entirely sure how to explain the 16-7, because it's not only the abuse of love, but it's also a death and rebirth. There's a lot of ups and downs when it comes to the 16-7. So it's really hard to explain. I would recommend looking up the 16-7 to gain a better understanding of it, because there is quite a bit that is attached to that particular karmic debt. And then there's 19-1, which deals with the abuse of power. And so what you find with 19-1, you get a lot of instances in your lifetime. You get a lot of things come up in your lifetime that deal with proper use of power. And so the theory behind this debt is that this karmic debt is that it's a learning curve due to past abuse of power. Be it in a relationship, be it in a job, just wrongful use of power. And again, each of those numbers can be looked up and more research can be done that would help better understand each of those numbers. So I mentioned earlier in this video that the core numbers sometimes go by different names, and so I wanted to give you a few of the different names that they go by. The life path numbers, also been called the destiny number, vocational number, birth force. The destiny number, as it is called in this book, has also been called the expression number, self-expression number, mental number, outer self. Soul number has been called heart's desire number, motivation number, soul urge, self-motivation number, individuality number, or the inner self. And the personality number has been referred to as self-image number, heart self, or quiescent self. So those are just some of the different names that some of the core numbers have went by. As I stated, numerology can also be found in relation to where do you live. It could even be used in theory about where do you work. Is this, numerologically speaking, a good fit? Is this the type of job that you were looking for? It's also been used as a compatibility tool. How does your life path number differ from your loved one's life path number, your significant other's life path number? How are those two, or how close are those two numbers together? Are those two numbers compatible generally? My disclaimer is, as with everything, if you use numerology, use it, but look at it in relation to the big picture as well. Because the numbers that appear in your life are not the end all, so to speak. They're not everything that makes up who you are. So, as with everything else, astrology, tarot, numerology, palmistry, it all works together. So my recommendation, if you're interested in this topic more, as always, you can leave comments in the comment section. If you have any major questions, I will get back to you, or I will make another video on specifically that topic, or research. There's a lot of good sites out there that you can look at that will give you the same or similar information to what I've presented today. And know that it's a very, very detailed subject. It's inclusive enough of how you put the numbers together, how you look at the numbers, what numbers are similar, what numbers are not. There's a lot that goes into it. And so, as I said, my major suggestion, if you're interested in this particular subject matter, is to do research on it and look at it, how it compares with the other things that you've researched about, say, your astrology, if you've done your natal chart, which is a whole nother video that I will eventually get to, but it's not at the top of the list because I'm still working with the natal charts myself, so I'm still getting a feel for how to draw up the natal charts, what everything means. So I'm not quite ready to do a video on that yet, but sometime in the future I will be doing a video. Thank you for watching my video, and if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Have a good day. Bye.